Good morning, and thanks for choosing Fox 10 News on this Sunday morning. Today is March 21st. I am Gianni Navarro, and I'm joined by meteorologist Matt Barentine. Matt, yesterday was the first day of spring, but we didn't get much of that sunshine. Are we going to get that sunshine on our Sunday today?
We certainly will. It's
Perfect.
going to be a beautiful day here for us on our Sunday. It's starting. It's gonna need a little coffee this morning. Let's just put it that way. It's a little chilly out here to start with. Definitely below normal here as we get going this morning. But don't worry, the sunshine's going to be out. It is going to warm quickly. Right now it's 42 in Mobile. Look at Evergreen right now, actually in the 30s. Got 38 up there, 40 in Crestview at the moment. So some chilly air. Zooming on down, we got 41 in Dawes. Downtown warmer there at 52, but Fairhope sitting at 41 right now. Even all the way down to the beach is 44 in Gulf Shores. It's 48 in Pensacola at this time. So it's chilly to start off with. Clear skies. There's what we're talking about. That's going to lead to plenty of sunshine out there today. A few clouds off to our west. Those will sneak in, or to our east, I'm sorry. That will sneak in later on today. That's the only issue that we'll see. Otherwise, it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day here for us across the entire area. You can see those temperatures. 40s this morning, but that'll quickly warm up to 60s by lunchtime. We'll top out near 70. Some areas only in the upper 60s, but some spots will get up to around 70 degrees. Just absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and check out your sunrise. Check that out there over the Bayway and Causeway there. You can see those in the foreground. And in the background, the Eastern Shore, sun rising above the bluffs there on Spanish Fort. Beautiful looking shot across the bay here this morning. Let's check out your weather headlines. First off, bit chilly this morning. That's the top headline. This afternoon, sunny and very nice here for us throughout the day. So a beautiful day. Get outside and enjoy some of the beautiful spring weather this afternoon. And looking ahead, heavy rain returns midweek. What are we talking about exactly? I'll break down details coming up in a few minutes.
Matt, thank you. Well, the Alabama Crimson Tide rolling on to the second round of the NCAA tournament with a fast-moving face-off, surviving the Iona Gales.
And it's good for
Iona and Alabama facing off in the first round of the NCAA tournament this afternoon in Indianapolis. A tight game throughout the first half. For a while, it looked like the Gales might pull off the upset.
You know, defensively, we didn't come out. I don't think we came out how we should have, and we didn't make a lot of shots. But the effort was there. I give the effort an A, but our overall performance, I think it was a C.
The Tide up 33-32 at the break.
And we knew coming in it was a really good team. We just, stuck to what we were going to do, follow the game plan, and things turned our way, and we got out with a win.
Alabama turning up the heat midway through the second half, scoring 11 points in a row with no looking back, slamming and stealing their way to the top. Herb Jones, the SEC Player of the Year, showing out.
Jones with the steal, drives in, and the
leading all players in the game with 20 points, securing their spot in the round of 32 in style. Alabama wins 68-55.
Talk about a hard-earned victory. Well, Alabama will face Maryland in the second round on Monday. An exact time has not been determined yet. Well, hard-parting spring breakers shutting down Miami Beach effective immediately. Miami Beach declaring a state of emergency following serious concerns from the Miami Beach Police Department over larger than expected crowds. A curfew was implemented Saturday night at 8 p.m. This comes as a prominent bar, the Clevelanders South Beach, announced plans to temporarily suspend all food and beverage operations until at least March 24th after those crowds crammed Ocean Drive and broke out into street fights. At another restaurant next door, tables and chairs were allegedly smashed during a fight. Local officials and businesses have struggled to balance bringing in tourists to boost the economy and safety amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. And for a second straight day, pandemic air travel hits a new high. More than 1.4 million people were screened at U.S. airports Friday, according to the TSA. That represents the biggest day for air travel in more than a year. Previous records for pandemic flying have come Thursday and the previous Friday. This new high also represents a 9th straight day of more than 1 million daily passengers. The surge comes as federal health officials still caution against travel. The Department of Transportation has a new campaign to remind travelers of mask requirements on all forms of transportation and in terminals. And a concerning development in the battle against the coronavirus. Health officials warn a new variant is spreading across the U.S. Health officials are sounding the alarm about a new variant, potentially more contagious and deadly, spreading across the U.S. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced the first case of P1 COVID-19 variant, commonly known as the Brazilian variant, has been reported in the state. In a statement released Saturday, Governor Cuomo said the infected patient is a 90-year-old Brooklyn resident with no travel history. The alarming report comes as the Biden administration praising a major milestone in its battle with COVID-19. 100 million coronavirus vaccines have been administered since President Biden took office. Nonetheless, vaccination rates remain low in many states as officials battle vaccine hesitancy.
While millions of people are vaccinated, we need millions more to be vaccinated.
As it stands now, more than 22% of Americans have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and almost 12.5% of the population is fully vaccinated. And the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says 2 of Eli Lilly's coronavirus antibody treatments may not work against some of the new variants. Monoclonal antibodies are lab-engineered immune system proteins. They're infused into patients to try to boost their immune response early in infections and can sometimes be used to try to prevent infection. The FDA reviewed research on the mutations characteristic of several of the new variants. Although none of the experiments involved live infected patients, the FDA said the findings were serious enough to warrant revisions to the emergency use authorizations for the products. And tomorrow, 2 million more people in Alabama will be eligible for the COVID vaccine. Already nearly 1.5 million vaccine shots have been given. People may find it harder to get vaccinated, but state health leaders say they're already planning for a different problem. Our investigative reporter Brandon Kirby picks up the story.
Alabama State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris says polling commissioned by the state shows as many as 1/3 of residents are hesitant to get the vaccine. He says there are many reasons.
Clearly, that comes in many different flavors, and you have people who are just hardcore anti-vaxxers that you're never going to reach. You have people who are mistrustful of the government and who don't believe maybe this is a real thing, or don't believe the reasons that we're having a vaccination program.
Then there's folks with legitimate questions that simply haven't been answered yet, Dr. Harris says. For the first time this week, the Alabama Department of Public Health started breaking down vaccination numbers by county. In Mobile County, 23% of adults have gotten at least one shot. It's 22% in Baldwin. You can see how the rest of the counties in southwest Alabama stack up. Reaching the reluctant may prove to be the biggest hurdle to herd immunity. Mobile resident Jonathan McManus says he doesn't expect to get the shot anytime soon. He cited the infamous Tuskegee syphilis study, in which investigators failed to treat or inform infected African Americans enrolled in the study.
We don't know exactly what's in the vaccine. I don't feel like the government has given us a reason to trust it as much, especially because of the past events. So I would like to see the outcomes of the vaccine before I get it myself.
But Kenneth Richardson says he's already gotten the vaccine and has no qualms.
It's the only responsible thing to do. If we don't take initiative in order to help not only ourselves and family and other people, who will? Once I looked at all the data, I was confident that there was nothing to be worried about.
Brandon Kirby, Fox 10 News.
And tomorrow in Mobile County, there will be 3 first-dose Moderna vaccination events going on. Monday and Wednesday, you can go to the cruise terminal between 8 in the morning and 8 at night. Tuesday, you can head to Bellingrath Gardens. That event starts at 9 a.m. and goes until supplies run out. These vaccines will be open to the next phase of eligible people in Alabama. That includes people 55 and older, anyone with certain health conditions, and more essential workers. And Alabama National Guard troops will be setting up mobile vaccination clinics next month in 24 rural counties. Here are the local locations and dates in the Fox 10 News viewing area on your screen. April 7th, Monroe County High School in Monroeville, the 8th, Grove Hill at SP Hudson Park, and the 9th in McIntosh at 111 River Road. Vaccines will be given each day between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updating their school reopening guidelines. The CDC announcing that they are easing social distancing rules in schools. According to their new guidance, students can now sit 3 feet apart in classrooms. Previously, health officials recommended schools enforce a 6-foot distance rule when it came to desk setup. But after reviewing new data, the CDC loosened the rule for most cases.
Our conclusion is that when schools can continue to use that package of preventive measures, that the distance between students in classrooms can be at least 3 feet apart. And that really kind of maximizes their opportunity for in-person learning, and also adds on that added prevention effects of masking and other preventing measures.
Officials say the 6-foot rule should still be followed in some cases, like when masks can't be used, such as when students are in the cafeteria. They also emphasize the importance that adults and teachers remain 6 feet away from other adults as well as students. And we have a traffic alert for drivers in downtown Mobile. Broad Street is closed between Spring Hill and Government, and it will be until late summer. This is a part of that big revitalization Broad Street construction project underway. We have the detour routes on our website, fox10tv.com. And another road closure is happening this week. Starting tomorrow, Ziegler Boulevard between Forestdale Drive and Forest Hill Drive will be closed for a road construction project. Weather permitting, the closure will last for 2 weeks. Detour signs will be posted.